When you click here, I can see who's called in.
When skies are cloudy and gray,
Not yet.
they're only gray for a day.
Thanks, Russ.
So wrap your troubles in dreams
Pull that down.
and dream your troubles away.
That's good.
Just remember sunshine always follows the rain. So wrap your troubles in dreams and
dream your troubles away.
just
Remember that sunshine always follows rain. So wrap your troubles in dreams and dream your trouble away. Oh, right.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back live.
Back live. Here we are.
Welcome back, Gary.
People live here.
Yeah.
Us.
I'm back here in the Chinese restaurant again.
Uh-oh.
Are you eating now, or are you going to wait till after the show?
I've been eating all along.
Okay.
You've been eating all along. Well,
I already got into the fortune cookie. They
Ooh.
opened one up. It's a help from a prisoner in a Chinese fortune cookie thing.
That's funny.
So what's going on, Scott?
Oh, what's going on?
well,
I had some cool dreams from some friends this week or last week.
yeah.
I had another cool dream too. How about
Yeah.
you? Yeah, what's going on with you? Anything new?
I actually did. Something really interesting happened to me. But I was wide awake.
You had like a vision?
I walked. Is there any such thing? I don't know. But this is a supernatural program, so I just throw it out there.
Go for it.
I was coming from the kitchen into my bedroom when I saw a white cloud to the point that I was
Whoa.
just rushing in. I had a cup of water because I was going to go lay down. Jose Luis is watching the news. It's already, I looked and I didn't see anything but the cloud. And
Whoa.
I bumped, like literally was thrusted across it. And I'm like, oh my God, what was that? What was that? Did you see that? Did you see that? And my husband looked at me like, what? And I said, I just walked through a white cloud. And he
Wow.
looked at me and I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know. But
Wow.
since then, I feel like something happened and I don't know how to explain it.
Hmm.
So
Was there an actual physical sensation
it
when
was,
you walked
yes,
through it?
it was like I felt like actually I stopped because I was like, whoa, I thought I was gonna bump into something.
Oh, wow.
I even thought it was Jose Luis standing there because I didn't see the other side of the room. And I'm walking through the door. So and there's like the TV's on, so there's light. But I didn't see the TV. I didn't see anything. It was just a white cloud and I just walked through it. So Gary, you need to help me here.
Wow.
Well, where in the Bible was there a cloud inside of a room?
When the Shekinah glory fell, right?
Right, in the temple.
In the temple. Mhm.
A cloud is a symbol of the presence. Remember, God was a cloud by day.
The cloud. Yeah, that verse.
It means that you had an encounter with the presence of God.
Oh my God.
Wow. And you say things have been different since that
It has
happened?
been, it's like I went passed over somewhere, went through another, it's like another place, like another dimension, if I can say, but I'm on the earth and I know it sounds a little crazy, but it just felt like I walked into another dimension. I walked into another, I don't know how to explain it, but to the point that I stayed up, like just like, wow, like I'm like wowed. I talk about it and I feel like, wow, I'm wowed about it.
That's
like,
very cool.
God, you're too awesome, because I knew it was God. I knew it was I said, did I bump into an angel? I was trying to like figure it out in my head.
No,
Wow.
I don't believe it's an an angel. I believe it's the glory of God.
Mm.
Yeah, that happened to me on
See,
Tuesday.
the glory of God means God manifesting Himself on the earth.
Well,
And when you encounter God, it means you are going to be changed. Something's going to be different.
something is
Wow.
different.
That's how I know that somebody really encountered God. You know, even in a service, if somebody falls down and they got up and they're the same person, all they did was fall down. Something's got to, you know, when you encounter the glory realm of God, something will be different in you.
Wow.
It is. It's. I can't even explain it. It's really, but it's also like the fear of the Lord. Like, oh my God, you know, like oh my God, but not in a bad way. You know, I'm not afraid, but it is.
So see what happens when you pray for people. A lot of times people have that experience, and then they're able to release it on other people. They're able to impart that.
Mm.
That
Wow.
would be interesting to do.
Mm.
Well, let's
So,
get what the dream is here.
So we're live also on Facebook.
Yes, we are
And who
live.
we got? We got Scott in the control booth.
Yeah, Amelia
right here.
And we have Amelia in the chat room.
Yes.
And somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean, we have Julie
Julie, yes.
Cyberspace helping us to interpret dreams.
Yeah.
And if people want to, if someone's watching now and they have a dream, how could they contact us? Because we're here to interpret dreams live.
Yes, and there is another way. They can go through the chat and write their dreams there. And once they logged in, dreamsnetwork.tv, they can go at the end of all the videos, different programs and videos that are there. All the way at the end, there's a chat button, and they can click on that, either remain anonymous or put in their name, choose an avatar. And they can write short dreams on the chat. If they're too long, they get lost and they don't come through. And then there's another way that they can call the studio. And what is that number, Scott?
It's magically appeared right on the screen. It's 515-604-9300. And the access code is 935684. And the number sign. And once you do that, I'm told you want to hit *6 when you're ready to come on. So again, 515-604-9300. The access code is 935684, number sign. Then hit *6 when you're ready to come on. It's a candy store here, Gary, but they'll get in touch with us.
They get in touch with us, right?
Candy store. It's a
That's
candy
what I'm told.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Did you know that I'm a peripheral visionary?
That's easy for you to say. What does that mean? Peripheral.
I'm a peripheral visionary.
So you can see things,
but all the way
off to the side.
Off to the side. Not like a
Peripheral.
dove. Not like a dove.
No. You know, I stayed in a really old hotel this week.
You did really?
Yeah, instead of a call, they sent me a wake-up letter.
A letter.
A wake-up letter.
That's a really old hotel.
Oh,
Snail
man.
mail, huh? Did you snail mail?
Then I went to the store last night. I bought some batteries, but they weren't included. That was a waste of money.
I hope you didn't spend too much on those batteries.
I'm not paying attention anymore.
Batteries not
Oh, you're
included.
not?
That's funny.
Okay.
So what do we got then? Wait, Amelia.
Yeah.
If somebody was shooting at a mine, would they have to use a silencer?
Yeah, right? Or maybe sign language. Oh no. They're shooting at a mine.
Mime.
Really get the
Mime.
dreams
Yeah.
because
Those are the ones that.
Yeah.
people are dropping us already by the dozens. It's so bad, even Marie turns off.
Oh man, Marie.
No, Marie
She-
stays with us. Millie's on, Marie's on, Jacqueline, and two others. Lisa's on. Margot. Hi, Margaret.
Margot.
Yeah, Margot.
Margot.
Margaret. Jack is on. Hi, Jack. So these are all on. And Julie.
You
Julie
shouldn't
is also
say
on.
hijack. You might go to jail.
Hi, Jack. Right now.
Don't say that. Don't say that word.
Not on a
Mr.
plane.
Jack. Mr. Jack.
Oh, yeah,
How's that?
especially on the plane.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so is anybody on the phone line?
Oh, we did
Oh,
have somebody, but
yeah,
they
hung up.
yeah.
And please try again. They were.
Was it those jokes?
Maybe they wanted to hurry up and write down the jokes before they forgot. Maybe that's why they're not there.
They'll call again. But I do
Yeah.
have a dream already on Facebook. Maybe we can do that because it seems kind of short. Or maybe not. Let's see more.
Hey, Amelia,
Yeah.
you know that I have a friend who has a little baby, and I record all the noises he makes. So later on, when he gets older, I could ask him what he meant.
Oh my God. Where do you get
What do you
these
think
things?
of that?
That one's a smart joke, I have to say. That's a smart one. Not that the other ones are, but you know what I mean.
We could start a new weekly program, Baby Talk Interpretation, right?
Yeah, right, baby.
Yeah, that would be
Baby
good.
talk dream interpretation.
Okay, so you have a dream on Facebook?
Yes, it's from Veronica. And she says, I had two dreams with zebras. One on which I was running away from the zebra and hiding behind a door. And in the other, I was chasing after the zebra. I don't really remember what else was going on in the dream, but I had those two dreams in the same week.
Okay, so the dream about a zebra. So one thing we know about animals typically represents what?
Could be people, or maybe spirits, right?
Yeah, either people or spirit,
And they were chasing her,
or
though.
the spirit behind
Oh,
people.
wait a minute.
Mm.
In one, she was running away from it, and in the second one, she was chasing after it. So
Mhm. So to me, a zebra represents a spirit of compromise because you see, it's striped,
it's black and white.
so
Yeah.
it's both black and white. You know,
Mhm.
so it's not darkness or it's not holiness, but it's somewhere trying to
In
live
between.
in the middle. It's the enemy trying to
Mm.
persuade people to give in, to, you know,
Interesting.
tempting people to compromise. And it shows that at one point it was difficult, you know, to overcome. But
Mm.
now she's chasing the zebra. In other words,
That's it.
she's overcoming now in her lifestyle. You know, she's turned the corner. She doesn't feel anymore like, you know, lacking control. But in other words, she's really becoming a mature Christian, overcoming, not giving in, you know, every time when she's tempted.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, Veronica, you can let us know what you think about that. And welcome, Jose. Welcome, Karina. Welcome, Lisa, Yvette. Thank you for, share the video. And we don't have any more callers. I have another dream on chat. You want me to do that one?
Okay.
I dreamed that I was being prayed over. The man asked me if I was writing a book, which I am, and said I should finish it. He also said I would minister empowerment to women. When he was finished, I turned to leave, but there was water outside of the door, and I did not want to get my shoes wet and ruin them. So I found another door, and it led me onto a path and then into the woods. As I followed the path, I realized that I had left the coffee pot on, and I felt like I needed to find it before it caused a problem. I finally found it on the path in the woods. When I picked it up, there was no water in it, only one chipmunk and 6 Minnows.
No, minnows.
Minnows.
Those are fish.
Those are fish? Mm.
Little fish.
Yeah. Then I came out of the woods onto a city street where I saw a prominent man wearing a business suit. He was sitting in the driver's seat of a work truck. I asked him if the company had received the letter yet. He shook his head no. I felt disappointed, and then I woke up.
Wow.
That is an
Okay, so
interesting.
we had the man in the beginning asking if she was writing a book, which she is,
Mm-hmm.
and said I should finish it, and also to minister empowerment to women.
Right.
Who do you think that man would be?
The Lord gave him directions, right?
Right,
the
to
Holy
finish
Spirit.
the book and
Yeah.
also strategy for and direction for a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But it said that when she turned to leave to go out on the path, it said that she was afraid of getting wet, ruining her shoes or whatever.
Mm.
What do your shoes represent? Peace. So here's what that would tell me. The next step that would have been required to, by the Lord is something that would have really stretched that person. It would have been a step of faith to make the person really uncomfortable. That would be your shoes, or getting wet means, I'm not comfortable in this. I'm not peaceful in this. I'm going to go a different direction. Once we do that, now we have to take the long route, and it seems like that's what happened. I found another door led to a path and into the woods. What does the woods represent?
The wilderness. Like when the Israelites got off track, right? They spent 40 years in the wilderness.
So once I'm in the wilderness, do I know where I'm going once I'm in the middle of the wilderness?
You're kind of lost there for a
you're
while.
kind of stuck, kind of.
Yeah, it means the person still is right with God. The person who had the dream still has a desire to please God. But now, because they didn't take the immediately step out in faith that it would have taken, now they ended up in a situation though now they're not sure which way to go. Because when you're in the wilderness, symbolically, I'm surrounded by trees and I can't see ahead. Then she realized she had left the coffee pot on and felt like she needed to find it before it caused a problem. And she found it on the path in the woods. So what do you think that might be about?
She left the coffee pot in the woods.
And there's no water in it.
No, there's nothing in it.
I see Julie has a comment down here
Yeah,
that
and she said,
the fact there's no water,
which I think symbolizes the Holy Spirit, which I think they missed on the first.
yeah, so if there's no water, it means that,
They're dry?
What I would say, have gone dry. Why? Because choosing not to take the hard road.
And a chipmunk. What in the world is a chipmunk?
Wait, so let's go next to the...
Okay, and there was no water in it. Only one chipmunk and 6 minnows or minnows.
Minnows.
Little Spanish. I'm gonna say minnows.
You know what I think of when I think of it. Oh, you know what? It's a hamster, not a chipmunk. I'm thinking of a hamster that's going in circles. But yeah, the chipmunk would be different.
But the chipmunk saves food. Doesn't he save food?
He puts food in his cheeks or something,
and
right?
saves it.
The chipmunk is a rodent, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Hey, we're in the city. We don't know some of these others.
But it is. Is it like
It's got a little stripe on it.
Yeah.
Little smaller, kind of like a squirrel, but smaller and not a big tail.
But to get to the 6 minnows, instead of the water, there were 6 minnows. What is 6 the number of?
Ooh,
number of man. Yeah.
And what do fish represent?
Souls, right?
Souls for people. So what does that mean? When I'm taking in the water, what am I receiving from?
Man.
No, water. When I'm drinking water, what am
You're
I
receiving from the Lord, from the Spirit.
Lord, the Holy Spirit, yeah.
If it's
But
good,
what if
good
I'm
pure
drinking-
water.
What if there's 6 fish? What am I receiving? Human wisdom, human advice.
Wow. That is.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So in other words, you know, the person and they're seeking after God and God's purposes, they came to a place of listening, well, what the advice of people and what people said. And I see Julie has another comment down here.
She says also the minnows without water can't really survive, which could mean souls that this person would come into contact with, that they need the Holy Spirit to win the souls.
Right, it could mean that too.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, you know, the 6 meaning the number of man, the number of the flesh. So the ministry, like Julie said, won't be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm receiving human advice, it's not going to be effective. And she also said that the coffee
is
represent
a wake-up call. Yep.
Right, but that's hard when it's empty, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's nothing in it.
Wow.
Okay, what's next in the dream?
Okay.
I didn't really know what the chipmunk represent. Maybe someone on Facebook got an idea about it.
Yeah.
The chipmunk.
Yeah, all they do is hoard food in their mouth. Maybe hoarding the information of God and not giving it out. I don't know.
I thought the chipmunk is the guy at the monastery that gives out the potato chips. He's the chipmunk.
No. And then the next.
All right, what's the next part say?
Yeah, the next part says, then I came out of the woods onto a city street where I saw a prominent man wearing a business suit. He was sitting in the driver's seat of a work truck. I asked him if the company had received the letter yet. He shook his head. No. I felt disappointed, and then I woke up.
Okay, now what letter? There's no reference here to a letter, right?
No, the letter is mentioned first at the end. There's no other.
Well, the fact is the person is, I'm not sure what that letter is because it doesn't say, but somehow the person is ending up in disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of the path they're on. They've come out of the woods, out of that wilderness experience and beginning to expect things. I think the man in the suit would represent prosperity. That the person is believing, for breakthrough, financial breakthrough, spiritual prosperity. The person really has a desire to move ahead, but somehow, has been struggling. So, Amelia, what would you say to that person that that they're called to write the book? That they're called to empower women, but it seems like they've been going through a time of struggle. Well, how would you minister to that person?
I would tell them to, go ahead and step out, and God will be their guard, and God will give them the strength and the power to do it. But not go on their own human wisdom or human strength, but ask God to really surround them, because it's hard, and be honest with God and say, I don't know how to do this, but with you, it's like Moses, we won't leave without you, and just present it to the Lord that you struggle, but you want to do it. To just say yes, and God will do the rest.
And not to rely, as you said, on other people, or rely on what people will tell you. But God is saying to really seek Him. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that advice from Amelia. Yeah, I'm thinking again of the Israelites when, they kind of blew it when God said, okay, you go into the land, but they shrunk in fear. But then right after that, it was like a judgment was coming. So they said, oh, well, we made a mistake. We're going to go attack like God said that we should do. Right. And they got slaughtered because they didn't come back to the Lord and submit to the Lord. They did it in their own strength, like you were referring to, So yeah, I think the key is, like Amelia said, is to back and be honest with the Lord, and because certainly His heart is for you, and He's the one who gave you this vision for the book, and He will see it through. So yeah, it's a partnership with Him. Yeah. By the way, Gary, we do have a caller who's been waiting patiently. I just want to let you know about that.
But I just also want to say to that person who had the dream that the calling of God is still on your life.
Yeah, right.
It hasn't changed just because of your circumstances. So, it's so go back, and tell God, well, I'm willing to go through whatever door it takes. I'm willing to be stretched.
Wow.
Because, when we try to make our own way to make things happen, it doesn't work out the same. It might seem scary at first, to really go by faith. But in the end, that's where the victory is.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Also, I saw on Facebook, Lisa has a comment about chipmunks.
Oh, where? Really?
On the Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, she has a dream and also. Okay, it says, not sure how this applies to the dream, but chipmunks burrow around your home and can be a nuisance, even though they're cute. They can dig under your sidewalks or foundation of the house. I have them.
Oh.
That's how she knows. I have them and just bought traps. They also multiply. Oh, wow. That's a big insight, Lisa. Thank you.
The harassment of
the enemy.
The person
Wow.
really
That makes a lot of
undermining
sense.
the foundation.
Yeah, not again. You have to look. It's not a lion pouncing on you, but the sense of everywhere they go, they seem like there's harassment against them.
Wow.
But God is saying, come back. It's time for a new beginning, and go back, finish the book, do what go back to the place where you heard God, and we'll start again. Okay, you said there's a caller.
Yes.
Put some galoshes on your feet, then you don't have to worry about them getting your shoes wet.
Yeah, there's a caller, and it's the same caller, I think.
Maybe it's Marie.
Maybe.
No, Marie's on Facebook somewhere.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, welcome.
Thanks. I have two dreams. The first dream, I was walking up the block from my house, and I was walking up. It's like a hill, and when I turned around, I saw three teenagers walking behind me, and there was a man that was also like walking behind them, and I'm not sure if he was good or bad. But when I saw him, I said, "Oh no," in the dream, and I turned the block, and the teenagers are still following me, and it kind of like gets dark outside, and I turned around because I heard them struggling, the teenagers. I heard them like fussing, so I turned around, and they were trying to pull, there was a van on the sidewalk, and they were trying to pull my childhood friend. In the dream, she was a teenager. They were trying to pull her out of the van because I think the guy that was walking with them, I think he was trying to get her. He was pushing her into the van, and so the kids were trying to pull her out, and they were struggling. And I went back towards them, and I grabbed her leg with my right hand, and I pulled her out of the van, and then I woke up.
Oh, okay. So you had these three bad guys, So Scott, if number 3 gives me a
No, there weren't 3 bad guys. There were 3 teenagers.
They were trying to help, right?
They were out to do good or bad.
They were. I don't know why they were following me. These teenagers were following me, and one of them happened to be my childhood friend, but she was a teenager in a dream. She was an adult.
Oh, so she was one of the 3.
No.
But who attacked the
Yes.
lady?
Yes.
Oh, she was.
But the man that was behind them was trying to push her into the van, right? And then the teenagers were trying to help get her out of the van, and you were helping, right?
They were trying to get her out, but they weren't strong enough, and I went back to them and I pulled her out with my right. I pulled her by one leg with my right hand, and she came out of the van, and then I woke up, and in the dream I was saying, you know, wow, I'm strong enough to pull her out with one hand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, I thought that it was the teenagers were bad, so that changes the meaning. So 3 teenagers would, to me, give a picture of Christians who are spiritually still immature. You know, it's not about age; it's about they haven't yet grown and they want to help, but they're not ready. They haven't reached the level of maturity. Who do you think the bad guy is, Amelia?
The enemy.
He's always the bad guy, isn't he?
Yeah. That's the best one we know. We know which one is the bad guy.
So if he was trying to pull the lady out of the car, what was he trying to do?
No, he was trying to push her in.
The enemy was pushing her in the car.
Pushing her in.
Why?
Yeah.
Whose car was it?
It was a van. I don't know whose van that was, but it was on the sidewalk, and he was trying to push her in to the van, and the teenagers were trying to pull her out.
Like he wanted to hold her hostage or something.
I don't know what he was trying to do. All I know is that he was trying to push her in there, and the kids were trying to pull her out.
Yeah.
So that's because they were walking. Sorry, they were walking behind me, and I wasn't really paying attention to them. They were just following me, and then I heard them struggling, and I turned around and I saw that the man in the black, he was wearing black. He was trying to keep her in the van, and the kids were trying to pull her out, and when I saw that, I walked over to them and I just pulled her out with one hand.
Oh, okay. I see Julie got a good comment. You want to read it?
I believe they're following her perhaps because they look up to her as a mentor and she is stronger as she was able to pull her out because she's a stronger person. Yeah.
Yeah, so, they would represent those who are, less mature.
Mm-hmm.
And, but you're being able to pull her out, as she said, shows that you are a stronger Christian, that's what God wants to use you. Mm-hmm. So, Scott, if the enemy's trying to pull somebody in, what is he trying to do symbolically?
It could be seducing somebody or that's kind of what I'm sensing. If he's pulling you in, it's like trying to get you, or in this case, the friend, get them to agree with him. And it could be some bad teaching. It could be just because we know he's the father of lies. So he's trying to draw her into, what he's
away from God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's trying to take Christians and draw them away from God. So this shows what your ministry calling is. It's for those who are battling, those who are being lost. You have a ministry calling to help them to be strong, to help them to stand, to help people mature.
Yeah.
In other words, you have a call to help people who are really battling in their faith, who are going under. You have a calling because of the things that you've gone through and are beginning to overcome. As you overcome, you're going to help pull other people up and to mentor other people to do the same thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's a comment that Julie has here. She says pulling her off could mean taking off the track from following the dreamer's lead, like taking her off track.
Hmm.
Right,
Wow,
that's the idea, pulling her off track.
Yeah.
You know, away from God's purposes.
Yeah.
Because that's what the enemy wants to do.
Very cool.
So it shows that you're called for those who are really been hurt and wounded and going under. You have a calling to pull people in the strength that you have to pull them back to the Lord.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing.
Did you have another dream you said?
Yes, this one's shorter. I've called you guys before, and I told you that I was struggling between churches, which church I should go and which church I should leave. So it came to me in a dream. I was having a dream, and I was first in the church that I want to go to, and it was about time for worship, but then I got up and I left and I went to my church, which was in the dream across the street. And the street was black. I remember the street was black. And let's see, I'm trying to remember. I wrote it down. What did I say? So I crossed up to the other side of the street where my church was, and I was sitting there, and then there was a guy there who was on stage, and he was dancing. But in my dream, like, somehow I knew that, even though he wasn't saying it, I knew that he was gay. And I don't know if that was what made me get up and leave the church again, and I walked to the other side of the street where the other church was, and but then I said, no, what am I doing? And I turned back to walk to my church, and this time the guy that was dancing on the stage was crossing the street, and then he was in an Egyptian gown. It was all white, and then by the collar, it was blue, like a dark navy blue that looked almost black. And then I crossed the street, and I passed him, and I went to my church, and I woke up from the dream. I hope that wasn't too long.
And well, what do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I'm thinking that guy that she saw represents a spirit. Not a person per se.
The fact that he had an Egyptian look.
Yeah,
It means that they serve other gods, because Egyptians serve other gods.
Okay.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them.
Well,
but
in the Old Testament, they were known for that, right?
they were in the Old Testament. And the fact that he was dancing in the altar, like, I don't know if he was dancing with respect or, not being reverent, or just, how was he dancing?
No, it wasn't anything sexual or anything like that, or anything inappropriate. He was just dancing, and somehow I knew that he was gay, and that's what made me leave. But then I came back.
No, so when you left, then you saw him outside going across the street?
Yeah, when she left.
Yeah, when I left, I crossed the street, and I turned back around and said, what am I doing? And I walked back to my church, and as he was passing me by, that's when he had the Egyptian kind of like outfit on.
So he was leaving your church. Was he going to the new church or to the?
He seemed to be crossing the street to go to the other side. I didn't know.
You don't know where
he got to the other church or not, but.
Huh. Okay. Well, yeah. But what that tells me is, not to, because you recognized when you left the church, you saw something, you didn't like, so you left, and then you came to your senses, it sounds like, and said, oh, what am I doing? You know, and then you went back and you saw that this man was already gone. And to me, what that speaks of is, you know, when things are in your church that, you know, maybe it's something that you're picking up in your spirit that's not right or whatever, the answer isn't always to leave the church, but you know, you can take a stand. Because if this guy represents a spirit or something that's not right, then you have a place, you have authority, like that other dream spoke of, that you can affect it, your present church, for good. So if there's something in your present church that's not right or that you don't like, this might be saying that you know, you can stay there and of course submit to the Lord and see what the Lord's doing, but it might have to do with protecting your church, and because then the bad influence that you saw, a bad influence, would leave because you are there. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And there's
Yes, it does. Because to be honest with you, like, I've been thinking about whether I should leave my church or not, because I see things there that I don't really like.
Sure.
And it disturbs me. So I wasn't there for a while, and I just started going back. So yep, it makes sense.
Okay, there's also another
Cool.
comment from Julie from the UK, and she says, it seems like it could be a spirit of deception within the church that is causing people to leave. And she asked a question, did you start saying that there was darkness? Like when you were crossing over, it was dark, right?
No, I said the street was dark.
Okay, the street was dark.
The street.
Okay.
But the
It was
darkness represents confusion, that you've been confused, it shows, about to go here or there. But I think God is showing you, as people have been saying, you know, that deception's been lifting, you know, and you could have a part in that, you know, to stay where don't be afraid to stay where God's planted you unless he moves you. Follow God, you know, not to follow the, you know, just your emotions.
Yeah, and I'm also just sensing that because I've gone through similar things, and I'm sensing in you that there's intercession, that's a big part of, you know, why he has you where you are. It's intercession, it's praying. You see something, you say, this isn't right, Lord, or you know, if it's deception, Lord, bring clarity, whatever. But there's authority in, as you you know, bring these prayers before the Lord, you have authority there.
Yep, you're right. I do intercede for my church. I was a prayer warrior in my church, but I stepped down for a little bit because I was taking a break.
Okay.
But I am an intercessor in my church.
Well, the dreams,
even though I'm not in the ministry,
there's destiny.
Yeah,
Get back going.
Yeah, you don't have to be like an official intercessor to be effective, for sure. You know, it's you know, your relationship with the Lord. He'll put something on your heart to pray, and you pray it, and it happens. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Hey, bye.
Thanks for calling.
Have a good night. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Oh,
God, what happens if you have amnesia and deja vu at the same time?
I used to know, but I forgot.
Is anybody else on
Or
the
maybe
phone?
you keep forgetting over and over again.
no, there's no more callers. And also for the dreamer that just hung up, Julie had another comment. I guess if she has a revelation to see what is happening, she can pray things through.
Yeah.
Yes, so she's in agreement with what Scott said.
Yeah.
The Bible says by the testimony of two witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there's a dream on Facebook.
Yeah, it's from Lisa. And she says, I had a dream that I'm driving a car and the GPS keeps taking me off the main road onto these small roads that then bring me back to the main road. And I'm saying, why is this GPS taking me off the main road and onto these little roads and just stay on the main road? It was like a thick tropical area.
Okay, well, we think we got that one. So what was the GPS? The one, the lady that keeps saying, turn left, turn right, go this way. It could represent somebody's wife, but besides that.
It's funny. I was thinking about a GPS today and what it means symbolically. And then what I was thinking was, oh, it represents the Holy Spirit, giving you direction and recalculating. If you get off track, it's like the Holy Spirit just recalculates and gets you back on track.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but in the dream though, she's frustrated because the GPS kept taking her off track,
yes,
right?
To the small roads, yeah.
Well, in other words, not the easy way, the way that would make sense.
Yeah, because it was taking her on the little roads.
Right. Yeah.
If I'm driving, I'm going to want to go the easiest road, and I want to stay on the main road. There's no detours, there's no light. But what dreams do, they give me clues about what's going on in somebody's life.
Wow.
So what does that show me about what she's experiencing right now?
That it's a little hard what she's going through. She would like to go the easy route, maybe.
And maybe frustrating too. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't want to go through the little area. I want to just get there and just go straight.
Yeah. So in other words, she knows where she wants to get to, right? For a GPS, you know ahead of time where you're going. The thing is, well, how do you get there? And a lot of times, if God is directing you, for some reason, He doesn't always take you on the straight, easy path. Why is that, Amelia? You're a scholar.
I'm not a scholar, but I don't know. I sometimes think that just because it's hard, a hard road is not a bad thing. I think it builds character and God. I mean, look at the Israelites. They really went around. But I think God also allows us to get, not always easy. But at the same time, there is the pressing in and pressing through that brings, victory and all that we go through. I think it's an okay thing. It's part of the journey, Even Jesus went through some tough things. So
wow.
If He's the master, we're not exempt. So I don't pray everything out. I mean, Lord, if that's
so it shows me that in her life, that there's some frustration. Why aren't things just? Why do other people have the easy road? It seems. Why does it seem like God just opens doors and these other people are sailing through, and I'm just going through this trial and I'm going that way? And when all I could do is just keep going on straight line like that person there. But it's a danger, right, Scott, if you compare yourself to other people?
Oh, boy, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you can't compare yourself. That's one thing. And the way it kept bringing her back to the main, to the main road, I think God has a way of doing things and not to fight Him on it. Just let Him lead you.
In other words, she'll get to where she's going, but you follow the road that God is taking you. No shortcuts.
Yeah, and Julie has a comment. She says God's taking her through a time of processing, which in some instances to build character and to see what God has deposited in her, built. Amen to that. Very good, Julie. That's really exactly nicely said.
Yeah, but it would be better, right? That God just, whatever happens, like God calls you to be a pastor, and then you just take a few classes, and then all these churches, like 10 churches, call you, and then you pick which one.
Not like that at all.
That's how it worked with you, right, Gary?
Why doesn't life work that way? No, that's what the dream is about. It doesn't because like Julie just
Oh
said,
man.
if you do it that way, if everything comes easy, there's many things you don't appreciate it. You're not building patience. You're not learning to love unlovable people.
Mm. That's the tough part. And even if it doesn't make sense, just follow the GPS. Yes, Lisa. You hit it right on the nose. It never does make sense. So that's her own comment.
Mhm.
And Jackie says she agrees. I agree. Who else has comments on here? That's it for now. And we're done here. We don't have more callers.
And,
Let's see.
and no more callers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if there's any dreams from before. An hour ago. No, there isn't. You want to share your dream?
Okay.
Scott?
Yeah, sure.
have
I
time,
think
right?
it's pretty simple and it's short. Well, first of all, folks don't know there were two dreams. And the first
Okay.
one, I don't think I shared on this program, but I shared it before about the zombies. You remember
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
So I'll just share that real quick.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me, years ago, I went into the bar and they asked the bartender,
Just
make me
started
a
the bar.
zombie. And the bartender said, God already beat me to it.
Ooh, man. He was looking for a big tip, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So anyway, the first dream I had, and I love that interpretation you gave me, Gary, was, well, there were zombies everywhere, and I found myself in my room, and I had a couple of pistols, and I was like loading them up, filling them with ammo, and I had to kill the zombies or get away. And my first instinct, because they were right at my bedroom door, was to jump out the window. And I thought, no, I might get hurt. Let me. I've got these guns, I know it has to be a headshot to kill the zombies. So
this is the old dream.
this is the old one. So I took the gun and shot one in the head, and then that's when I woke up. Okay, and the interpretation Gary gave was that represents a religious spirit, and the gun is the power of God, the Holy Spirit to overcome the religious spirit and people that are entrapped by that. There's a calling for me to set people free that way. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. So that was the first dream. Okay, then last week I had a similar dream where there were zombies everywhere. I don't know why I haven't watched any zombie movies in a while, but zombies were everywhere. And it's like, I felt like, oh, I need to prepare because I know they're going to come and attack me. So I just looked around and there was a 2x4. So I said, oh, I got to have a 2x4 because I know that'll work. I'll hit him over the head with a 2x4, then that'll kill him. So when a zombie did come at me, it's like I took that 2x4 and smacked him on the head, but he didn't die. So I smacked him harder, and he still didn't die. It was like I knocked him over, but he didn't die. And then I knew I needed help from other people to help me kill the zombie. And that was the second dream.
Oh, I thought you were still on the first dream.
Oh.
So you got to repeat the second one.
Man.
Okay, the second dream basically is the zombies were coming, and I didn't even think about having a gun at that time. I was just looking around for a weapon to use against the zombies, and I found a 2x4, a piece of wood. And so when they came at me, or this one zombie came at me, I figured I could kill it. It's like, oh, 2x4 is going to work. I'll smack him on the head. And it kind of dazed him, but he came back. He kept coming back. And I kept hitting him, and I couldn't kill him. And that's when I knew I needed help from other people. And that was it. That's the second dream.
I don't know. I just looked up Psalm 2:4 just because you said a 2x4.
Okay.
And it says, he who sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall hold them in derision.
Okay.
It means shall laugh at the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
It
cool.
means the Lord laughs at the enemy.
Yep.
That's cool.
Wow. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
But if you're in this dream,
He's-
if you're fighting zombies, they don't represent Christians because you wouldn't be fighting Christians.
Right.
What are you doing? You're fighting a spirit of death.
Spirit of
that's
death.
upon the church,
Mm.
trying to destroy destiny.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, what are you doing interpreting dreams and prophesying? You're speaking life into people. You're speaking destiny and purpose. In the
Okay.
meantime, the enemy is at work among God's people trying to destroy destiny.
Mm.
So I believe God is saying that He's sort of connect you with other people to turn the tide in the church.
Okay.
You know, because that's what you're all about, right? In your ministry, you know, in your evangelism and your prophetic, it's all about speaking life, to breathe life into dead places, into where there's been wounds and failure, to speak healing.
Mm.
And at the same time, the enemy's been working against you. The same people you're trying to speak life into, the enemy's also at work, trying to hinder them and stop them, you know, bring death to their dreams. So God is going to unify you with other Christians to work together. That's going to turn the tide against that spirit. So it's similar to the other dream. It's just the other one's more about people. This one shows the spirit behind it.
Okay.
And you know, it came to me like a 2x4 is a piece of wood, but you were gonna hit it with wood, but you know, Jesus died on the cross, which is wood. And you were like with the, you know, with the power of God. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, that's what stood out to me was that in the first dream, it was the gun. It worked, you know, and that represents God's power. And but the wood to me represented man. It's like, you know, in my own strength or whatever, you know, I couldn't overcome this thing. That's what I got out of it. You know, was
that's what I see. Julie said that too.
What did she?
You know,
was God trying to defeat the enemy in his own strength?
Yeah.
Symbolizes by the 2x4.
Yeah, so that's kind of, but I agree also with what Gary was saying, because I had to call on other people that it's, you know, my ministry is with other people too. It's not, I'm not by myself. So I think it's showing me two things. You know, the second dream shows me the two things, not, you know, not my own strength. It's not, you know, I mean, we know that from scripture and from experience, right? It's not, we can't do it in our own strength. That doesn't work, but we do need to, you know, to have others to lift us up and to help.
I think also what Amelia said shows the other side of the coin. So in one way, the wood represents your own strength, but on the other hand, it represents defeating the enemy with the cross. But in the first dream, it was about the power of God, and this time, it's about the love and the grace of God. As you show that to people, that's what's going to turn them and cast out the enemy.
I agree with that theology, but in the dream, it didn't work, though. The 2x4 didn't work. You know, it's kind of like it stunned him, but I couldn't kill him. See, that was the frustration for me. It didn't work in the dream. The 2x4 didn't work. You know, like in the first dream, the gun, no problem, but the 2x4 wasn't working. So that's why I'm thinking, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't, because it didn't work. If
exactly.
It worked,
I mean, you're right that the wood represents the cross a lot, but
if it didn't work,
it didn't work in the dream.
It's in a negative then.
Right.
And so wood can represent, you know, the Bible talks about wood, hay, and stubble, which means doing things on your own. You know,
that was kind of the sense I had from the dream, but and plus Julie agreed, so it must be right.
Yeah. No, if it didn't work, it's not like the gun that you were able to kill it.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Positive.
Yeah, because that's immediately I was comparing the two dreams.
If it didn't work, it became a negative.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
If you would have killed it with
and you know what, before I noticed it didn't work, I thought, oh, this is gonna work. And I've experienced that myself. It's like, you know, like kind of wanting to debate things and to show people, oh, if I you know, have this right teaching, then they're going to be convinced. And you know, it's like, but that's still in my flesh. So. And
there was a comment before for Lisa from Julie. It said about when it was like a tropical in her dream, in Lisa's dream, there was it was like a tropical area every time she was led by the
Oh, that's
GPS.
right. Yeah.
And Julie said tropical can mean that some of the detours will be refreshing or relaxing
Ooh.
because she kept running
Oh, that's
into
a
a
good
tropical
point.
area.
Yeah.
So Lisa, there you go for your tropical.
Yeah, so the Bible says there'll be times
Of refreshment. Yeah.
But you got to make sure you don't get off tropic, though. That's,
So, well, I see by the old clock on the wall that it's about time to be moving on.
Yes.
But one thing I don't understand,
What's that, Gary?
I have a friend that has a circular driveway and he can't get out.
Oh, he keeps going around in circles.
Yeah, how do you get out of a circular driveway?
I know. That's
that's
interesting.
crazy.
The guy, he works in a fire hydrant factory. It's a good job, but you can't park anywhere near the place.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. He can't get off his own property and he can't park at work.
Can't get out of
That
it.
poor guy.
So we have, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, we have, Saturday, what do we have, Scott?
I don't know. Impact.
Impact.
Impact. So you want to tell people a little about Impact before we mosey on out?
Isn't that that's not the 18th, is it? Is it the 18th? Impact?
I don't know.
Well, it's not this Saturday, it's the following Saturday.
So
I'm
this
not sure the date.
Oh, that would be the 13th. Okay.
Okay, 13th.
So
Yes, 13th.
yeah, it's an awesome time. There's some good teaching, and it's fellowship starts at 10 o'clock at the Harvest Training Center, which is 69 Myrtle Road in Cranford. And you're welcome to come. There's a nominal fee, but it's a bargain at any price, and it goes from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Basically, we've got teaching from Gary and from Russ and Roger and Robin.
And you and Amelia was there something.
Yeah, that's true too.
Amelia,
That's really worth the price. Me and Amelia sharing. That's
Oh man, you took it there. Yeah. Yes, Gary.
and Gary's going to interpret your dreams too. He'll be there. Afterwards, he'll stay till like midnight, I think, and interpret dreams.
The first guy out the door.
First guy out the door.
Okay, so I guess we will be back here next week, same time. If people still have dreams and want to call in, they could call tomorrow, right, Amelia? Amelia
they
has some
can.
deal
Yes.
tomorrow. So
Yes.
what if say someone had a dream they didn't want to call on Facebook? How could they call tomorrow?
Well, they can at 8:30 to 9:30. They can call the conference number 908-409-1393, and they can connect.
That's not the candy store, right?
No, not in this case. It's some dumb girl instead of the boy.
Gary, I don't get that candy store joke. But you know what? I was watching the special on the Prohibition, and there was a cordial shop where they used to like sell booze during Prohibition there. I guess that's like a candy store. Is that where the joke comes from? It's like a candy store, but they'll get in touch with you.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh.
That's what I heard. Rob told me that it went to the candy
It's
store.
a candy
Russ.
store. I'll have to check with
When you
him.
go upstairs, ask Russ about it.
We'll
He'll tell you
ask
the whole
Russ.
thing.
I'll have to check with
He's got a
him.
whole backstory about it.
Oh, he has
A what?
a whole story.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Well,
I gotta get back to my Chinese food here in the Chinese restaurant. I think Marie, she must be here by now.
okay.
She should
say
be
hi
on
to
her
Marie
way.
for us.
And I think Norma already ate half my food here. Norma, do you eat all my chow mein? Uh-oh.
She said yes.
No, she probably out of it.
She
Now
said
it's
yes.
gonna be
Well, we
great.
better let you go so you can get some of that shrimp.
Good job, Norma. Good job.
I know, Ron.
Okay, so if you're in your if you're not home and you're watching and you're on your way home, don't forget your car, and we'll see
Don't
you
forget your
next
car.
week.
And while you're driving your car, you can listen to a little bit of traveling music, right?
Some
Yeah.
traveling music.
Yeah, we got
Maybe
everything.
Amelia's gonna sing today. Maybe
Yeah.
even Marie.
Yeah, maybe.
Bring those cookies, Marie.
When skies are cloudy and gray, they're only gray for a day.
So wrap your troubles and dreams and dream your
Troubles away.
Don't come
Just
right up
remember
here,
that
Jack.
sometime.
Oh,
Jackie joined us.
Nobody
so
don't hear it.
wrap your
Troubles and dreams and dream your troubles away.
Just
Remember that sunshine.
Always follows
rain. So wrap your troubles in dreams
and dream.
Dream your troubles
away.
away.
I just woke up normal.